Okay, so I'm revisiting where I crashed. Bit of a foot down there. Right, let me calm down. This is a problem I have. I get the adrenaline and then my riding goes to fucking dog shit. Right, there we go, smooth. Don't ride beyond what you're capable of. Right. Okay, so as you can see, I'm nearly on the brink of crashing at all times. So I'm looking at my technique for two things. One, I want to increase my speed, but I also want to improve my efficiency. So basically, I want to do things with the least possible effort and be on the chill. So that's two things. One, I've got more energy, I'm going to fatigue less. Hey! And that's whoa, yeah. So I'm going to fatigue less, make things easier, and I've got a lower probability of having an accident. But I have been learning some things. So the first one is how relaxed I am. And I guarantee you about a month ago, there is no way I would be chatting along like I'm having a cup of tea and riding around the track. But I'm not blistering round. For me it's a good pace, but yeah, it's steady, it's efficient. I can ride like this for a while and I feel in control. I wouldn't say it's snail pace, although I do know Enduro Snail and he's a good guy. So moving on. So now I've got that out of the way, I'm going to go through some tips on what I do to stay on the bike, reduce me having an accident, and basically ride safer. You know, I'm not fucking Jet Lawrence, Steve Holcomb, any of them. This is your normal guy that's had too much in his life, not exercised enough, but wants to get out and have some fun on a dirt bike. And believe me, I fucking do. So, hey! Oh, you fucker! Right. Right, I nearly just flipped that then. So that's lesson number one. Don't go mad. Well, not too mad anyway. So when this new lap starts, which is not long, I'm going to talk through what I'm doing on how to make this as easy as possible. Because if I can do it, and you're a reasonable level of fitness, then you can. That's where we're at. Okay, so we're coming up to doing a lap. So, tip number one is learn to go around ruts. Find a rut and get in it, because it's like a safety net. You can ride against it and it almost tracks you. But the thing is to just relax. So how do you do that? On this bike, Honda CRF250RX, I've got to work the clutch constantly because the power delivery is really aggressive. So when I'm going around corners, I just ever so slightly slip the clutch, and here we go, you can listen to the engine. I'm slipping, feeding the power in, but keeping momentum, looking up, and I'm through the rut, no issue. If I'd have done that a month ago, I'd have messed myself. Right, this one, off camber, slippy, clutch. As long as you've got momentum, you'll just roll through it, and you're not going to have a big accident. So that's that one. Right, now the next here, there's a photographer here, so got to try and put on a bit of a show whilst keeping the bones intact. Whew. Okay, so same, listen, feeding the clutch, and I'm kind of using the clutch just to modulate the power. Look out, there we go. So I'm in control. So that's a good tip. What's going to make you come off is a change in speed, not a constant speed. So if you're accelerating, you're likely to use the back end. If you're braking, you're likely to use the front. So obviously you let off the throttle, you're going to load the front, you're de-accelerating. But if you just use the clutch a little bit, like here, the bike's just rolling round. And then yeah, if you want to feed more power, use the clutch. And it's tempting to whack the throttle here, especially if you knew this is for newbies. So here I'm tipping the handlebars up and I'm using the rut as a safety net. So here I won't, I'll get right to the front of the tank, I'll put my elbow up, I'm looking round, I'm going to use this rut. There we go, and it guides you. So the thing is, if you use your clutch to go through the rut, have the momentum to start with, pull the clutch in, and then there you go. So this one, if I let off, I'm going to load the front. Just going to feather the clutch, keep the bike stable. Now I'm straight, give it a bit of beans. So I'm leaning forward, I'm not going mad on the throttle. You can hear I got the initial speed. Same thing here. Clutch, just feathering the power. Now we're straight, but don't over accelerate. That's where I've made mistakes. You tend to come out of a corner and everyone wants to give it full throttle. But just give it a bit more than you have been and just practice on increments. So using this berm, it's a safety net. There's a hole there. That's another thing, looking up and predicting how the bike's going to handle. That is probably one of the most things to do. So wherever you can, kick up a higher gear, but that doesn't mean go faster. That means the bike's stable, the throttle's less responsive, and everything's easier. So I'm looking up, and you'll hear if there's something sketchy, I'm off the throttle slightly. Okay, so I'm using the clutch and I'm just railing round that. Same thing, getting that clutch, look up. There we go. Now, at first, you look at these videos, you try and do it, and you're like, that's fucking scary. I can't do that. So I've been like that, probably, I don't know, 2-3 rides ago. So I'm still new, you know. So it just shows you can do it. So just increase the speed, little by little. Now here's one, when you're standing up, I pull the clutch in when I let off the throttle, because otherwise you load the front, and I've had crashes doing that. So you stand up, load off the throttle, you're going to crash. But here's what I'll do here. So I'll stand up, on a coast, that's the clutch in. So I'm feeding it out nicely. I'll stand up here, and I'll transition to sitting. Position on the tank. The wheel you want to lose control of the most is the front wheel. So, when you go around corners, get your weight on that front wheel. So now, I'm going boom. There we are. I'll try and look down at my groin. Can't do it. Might work there. So I'm right on that front wheel. I don't care what the back's doing. And this is the key. It's momentum. But just to show you, if you go into a corner and you don't use the clutch to smooth that power, it gets a lot harder. So the clutch is in and I'm just smoothing the power around. Now yes, people would say that's not the way you take a corner, but if you're a beginner and you just want to feel comfortable, then why the hell not? You can do whatever you want. So I'll show you that principle. So if you find a corner, not this one because it's a bit sketchy, bit of speed, clutch in, and just, there you go, you can hear me slipping it, that's it, and out we go. And that way, so this is off the clutch, You can see the throttle's a lot more positive now. The bike moves a bit, the back end kicks out a bit, and it's scary when you're a beginner. And yeah, you don't feel as in control. So that's that. Clutch in again, look through the rut. There we go. Right then. Hope all this shite's making sense to someone. I do not profess to be a pro, but if you're a beginner, hey. So again, clutch in, so don't load the front wheel, and move it, cut the line in with the clutch. So this, I'm making sure whenever I'm on the throttle, I'm leaning forward. So again, I'm using the clutch to modulate the power. The clutch is slipping, slipping, slipping. Now I'm on the power. Standing up, leaning forward. I've got my butt stuck out as much as I can. There we go. Right, so the next thing is looking ahead and start to flow with it. Like when your body looks at the track, you'll find that after a while when you relax, you stop thinking about it. You just do it. You'll look at a bump and you're like, whoa. Another tip is don't ride a speed that you can't stop at or just roll off the track somewhere. So we're kind of in the middle of the bike here, but middle to front, same thing here. Now interesting, because I'm not trying to go fast, or the adrenaline's not there, shall we say, and I'm smooth, this feels like a doddle. I could do it all day long, feed the clutch out, all round there. So with my feet, what are they doing? So I've got my toe on the balls of my feet. I've got someone behind me, I'm going to kick my leg out, let it go through. Oh, they're not there. There you go, we are riding faster than we thought. Again, modulating, railing round, and the key to that is speed. If you go slow, you fall in and you fight in the mud. On you go, mate. I'm going up there because it's my line. Okay. And yeah, what I'm doing there is these things are just coming to me. Is hold the bike and relax your hands. So I'm leaning forward here. I'm not in the major attack position, but definitely the legs are grabbing, the bum's out, and I'm leaning towards the front. And you're better off riding at a speed that you can keep momentum, that you feel safe at. Maybe you can just edge the power on a bit. So like now, a bit more throttle, I'll carry a bit more speed into this corner, stay relaxed, do the right thing. Okay, this scares me, I'm not taking any risks, clutch in, job's a fucking good one, I'm going home safely. Same thing here, a few ruts. So I'm gripping with my legs. That's my throttle grip, if anyone wants to see that. So I've got my all the time so I can cover the front brake. And that's another thing, you'd be surprised how powerful the front brake is, even in the dirt. But just roll it on slowly. So smoothly, squeeze tighter and tighter and tighter. And then just practice. So I'll get a bit of welly on here, bit of front brake, there you go. Quiet stopping effect. When he's doing it. Right, again, clutch, move this. Okay, so if this is boring the shit out here, because to be honest, it's boring myself, I'm going to try and ride above my limit so that I can improve, but without being fucking stupid. So that's what I want to do. So, conscious of the throttle around the corners, how the engine sounds, cutting my line in. I'm on the power earlier here, smoother. A bit of throttle there, yeah, bouncing, okay. Okay, so that did kick me back. Thankfully I had it, but yeah, so that's something to improve on. So I think getting lower. more forward on the bike, gripping with my legs. Yeah, I think I was quite loose on my leg grip because now I'm feeling it. Okay, so on this lap, we'll see what the timer says. It could end up a bag of dog shit because I'm trying to ride faster, but we'll see. Improving my speed little by little. Little by little. Okay. Now I am starting to get a bit lazy and go in the back of the bike. I'm a bit tired, shall we say. Right, I can hear her. Oh mate. You probably want to watch one of his videos that make more fucking sense. Right, okay, carrying the speed, that's the other thing. I'm looking where I'm going and being really positive, well for me anyway, looking up positive, click up a gear. Right, remember when you stand up, clutch in a little bit, that's what I do anyway, especially around these techie bits. Right, feeding the clutch out, feeding it out, a bit more speed, being positive. Okay. That was a bit too much for my ability. Now this, I can gain time here. Right, yeah, down a gear, quick click. Use the rut, safety net, power. Okay, right, get in this rut. So, there we go. I'm a bit unstable because I'm carrying more power. However, now, I am going to get a lot more forward. And be conscious of the throttle the whole time. Okay. Right, again, carrying the speed in, let the speed do the work, and just maintain it with a clutch. And out we go. So I'm sitting down there to get the traction, and then standing up when I'm in the meat of the gear. Same thing, maintain, look up, power. Right, judging the speed a bit faster than I usually do. Okay, see, I've gone wide, but that's okay. Because I didn't go mad, I'm still in control. So refocus. Yeah, don't lose your speed when you're refocusing. Keep it going. Right, this is time earned, this bit. Okay, yeah. Right, again, in the berms or the walls of the track, it's a safety net. You can carry a lot more speed and it just holds you there. There's a berm here, we'll go with that this time. Yes, better drive out the corner. Okay. Now, got a confession to make. I did just do a little whiskey throttle there. So, why did that happen? Is it my grip? Am I too tight? Clutch in, don't want to overload the front. Up a gear, pick a good line. Hey. Right. Okay, I stood up down there. Right. So I am getting fatigued now. Right, another lap, because I do brake here, can accelerate there. I can just be carrying a little bit more speed everywhere. That's it. So carry more in here. Yep. I'm almost sideways, it feels like. Same thing here, a lot more speed. Fuck that up. Same thing here, in the rut. Use the edge of the track, down a gear because I've not got the thrust. Okay, in here, don't let off the throttle, keep the throttle consistent. Down we go, and we're going to rail around that fucker, and this one. Right, this is a shit bit for me. Come on, look up, positive. Alright, there we go. He thinks I've gone bloody mad, and he's right. Right. Okay, I've lost my spin bang. Right. This is the last lap, and I tell you what, knowing when to give up. My hands don't feel I've got full control, so I'm going to click up here and just use my body position and throttle. That's another thing to work on. Yeah, see, I lost the throttle there. Yeah, my hand's hurting, so if that's hurting it means my control's not there. So in order to just something to do, I'm squeezing the bike and letting my hands jiggle. Right, I think someone's behind me. On you go, mate. There we go. Right, now you can probably hear my energy's getting lower, so I'm starting to do things badly. So focus, recompose, do it right. I've also noticed on this bike, the more positive you are, the easier it is to ride. So even if you're tired, just do the positive thing. Look at the corner, drive, exit. And if you're not knackered, get off the track. But yeah, this is what I'm doing now. So my hands, I'm struggling to getting a bit of arm pump, hand cramp, whatever you call it. But I'm looking up, squeezing the bike. It's a bit rusty, my weight's to the back of the bike rather than the front, just because I'm getting tired. So I'm using the clutch, so I'm going to get up. Okay, I like cutting this line in here. God, I love the sound of this bike. Shame I can't fucking rev it any louder. Right, why do I ride faster the more fucking tired I get?